Hello everyone, my name is Taiwo. You are welcome to my channel. I made this stylish neckline design and I thought to share with us how it was made. Please like, share and subscribe.
I have the neckline of this cut out already, V neckline. So this is what we'll be making. If you want it to be really long, I mean this part, if you want it really long, all you just need to do is adjust the length of this okay. But if you don't want it this length, all you just need to do is folding it in until you get the length you are working with. Then you cut out the excess and fold in with half inch. This other part too, you can see that the okay is really wide, but I don't want it really too wide. So I have folded this in. So this is what I'll be explaining. I already cut it out, but I just thought to explain this to us with another one. So this is what I have. I have this okay. I'm going to put it on fold. Then now your fabric too will be folded like this into two. So what you'll be doing now is you are going to align the neckline of this boo dress against the okay. So let me turn it around so that we can see. If this is the part you want, all you just need to do is ensure you leave some part here so that it doesn't get to this part. So you're going to align it together with this raw edge. So you put it like so. You can pin it in place or just make sure it aligns like this. So when this is achieved, all you just need to do is mark here, or you cut it. You can mark here too or cut. So I'm going to cut it and show us what it will look like. You can see. You can lift this one too. So this becomes our shoulder. Let me open this up. So now we'll stitch this with seam allowance. This one has seam allowance because it was folded into two. I used two fabric. But so this is what concerns the neckline. But if your own is on fold like this, you'll be leaving half inch here because you need half inch to sew it. But this one has seam allowance. I hope you understand what I'm saying. This one has half inch seam allowance. That's why I just aligned it with the neckline and I cut it like so. This is what we'll be having. So I'm going to go ahead, sew half inch of this, and I'll bring it back to us. So I have it now. I'm just going to go ahead and press it in place. Then fold it over. This is what you will have. So like I said, you are going to determine the width. So this is what you will have on the neckline, V. Then the width now depends on what you want. Remember, this is the shoulder. This is the other shoulder line. With this one, I can easily fold in, because I don't want it too wide. I can fold in this purple, the lilac, leaving the purple like so. But if I don't want it too wide, I can go ahead and just go ahead and do the length you want. Do the same thing here, but I'll be cutting this part off. So this is what you will have. Can you see it? Then the length, if you want the purple to show like that, that's if this will not be too long. But if it is too long for you, just fold it in like so. Can you see? So I'm just going to go ahead and use the other one I showed us to explain. So this is what I have. Can you see? So I don't need all of this because it is too wide. It off. Then I'm going to be sewing in with half inch from here. The width of this is 4¼ so I can easily just fold in 1/4 inch and sew it, or 1/2 inch. So with my seam allowance, this is all I want, and I want it like this. I don't want it too long, so let me just cut this part off first, leaving 1/2 inch. This is the simplest way of cutting it without stressing yourself. So you just cut this off. If you want, you can leave this. If you want the width, like I said, just leave a bit like this and you will top stitch it. But if what you want is taken out of the seam allowance, which I already did, I'm just going to cut this off. So this is what I mean. I'm just going to cut this off like so. It is easier to cut because of the fold line that was made there already. So this is what I will have. So So all I just need to do is, if you are sewing it, this is the right side of the fabric, and you know at the end of the day, you know after sewing it, this is what we are going to have. So it means it's supposed to be sewn from the wrong side. So you are going to pin the right side of this fabric to the wrong side like so. Just lift it up. I'm going to explain this so that it will be easier for everyone to understand. So you are going to pin here, pin like so. You see the V shape, pin this one also. So I've pinned it in place like so. You can see wrong side against right side. An inch, half of an inch all the way around. You won't sew the shoulder lines because we are going to be turning, flipping it inside out. So after sewing, we will clip this up to the half of an inch so that it will be easy for us to flip inside out. Then we'll lay it on the right side of the fabric and top stitch. This is it. After sewing it, like I said, this is the wrong side. You can see this is what it will look like. You clip it like so without the clipping, but don't let it get to your stitch line. Can you see? With the clip, it will be very easy for you to flip it inside out. You can go ahead and reduce the seam allowance too so that it is not too bulky. I'm just going to give it a good press like so. Press it so that it lays nicely. So now one thing about this is if you are sewing anything like this, just ensure that your center line of this is aligning with this, or else it soon appear straight. And pin it in place. My seam allowance here, I'm going to fold it in. You cannot leave this raw edge because it will fray. So just fold in your seam allowance, half inch. I'm just going to go ahead, press it in place. All right, so look at the difference. I folded in the seam allowance here. Can you see? So all I just need to do, I'll go ahead and do this other part. But before that, let me just show you what to do. Go ahead, pin this in place, and you're going to top stitch it over here, folding the seam allowance here, top stitch like this, like this. But if you want this part too to be, just leave it like this. It's really beautiful like this. Ensure this part is central. Ensure it is in alignment with this part. Right, so I folded in the seam allowance inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin everything in place and top stitch. Yeah, so I've gone ahead and top stitch like I said. Can you see I've top stitched it, and this is what you will have. Then looking at the back, it should be well laid. Can you see? So this is what you will have. Because we finished the neckline already, the back, we are going to finish up the back part with facing. Or if you don't want to use facing, you can use bias tape, but facing is perfect. Just cut your facing, put it together like so. Sew with half of an inch. We sew this with half of an inch. Sew with half of an inch. Turn inside out. Clip so that it relaxes very well. Then you will join your shoulder together. There's a way you join it that this will finish up this part nicely. Thank you so much, and I hope you give this a try. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like, comment, share with other soul lovelies so that they can watch. Thank you so much. And if you have yet to subscribe to Sew with Nolia, please, I promise to give you back to back. Thank you so much. You can go ahead and make a request of what tutorial you will have me do next. Thank you. Bye.